'Tis I. Hey everyone, glad to see you back, glad to see you looking fresh, and today I want to talk about Witcher 3 and wish it a happy birthday. It has been 10 years of The Witcher 3, a little bit late. This game came out earlier this month, 10 years ago, but I got around to it. 10 years of what I've called, for the last 10 years, my favorite game of all time. So I kind of just wanted to tell a bit of a story, my journey with this game, what it's meant to me, why I call it my favorite game of all time, and I hope you enjoy. So 2015, I largely attribute to being the worst year of my life. For one very specific event that happened that I won't really get into, but it was very life altering, especially at the time. It felt like a hurdle I would never get past. It happened in July of 2015, and it really tainted the back half of the year. Fast forward a little bit, September of 2015. Me and my mom were kind of hanging out throughout the day in a city that we didn't live in. We were just out and about, and we went to a GameStop, and I don't think my mother's ever been to a GameStop before or since. So this is her one and only experience of the store. And we're in this store, and I'm just poking around, whatever. Have a little bit of money. Wanted like one game, go home after this trip and play it. I pick up The Crew. The first Crew game. Crew 2 wasn't out yet. Pick up the first Crew game. Because I do like open world car games. I like driving around. I hadn't played a Forza yet. Little did I know what greatness was laying there for me. But I hadn't played a Forza yet, and The Crew seemed like it'd be really fun. Played the demo, really liked it. Well, the problem is I don't have PSN. To this day, I don't know if you technically need PSN to play The Crew, but I knew you had to have an internet connection at least. So I bring it up to the counter, and this girl, who I've never seen this in any cashier before, since, was straight up like, "Are you sure you want this? I've heard it's not very good, and I've only heard bad things." And I specifically remember, like, I've only heard great things. Meaning, like, I played the demo, and my friends who had played the demo liked it. But she asked me, she's like, "Do you have PSN?" And I say no. And she asked her manager, "Do you need PSN?" And all they did was read the back, and it said something along the lines of, "You need an internet connection." So they basically told me I couldn't play it, or I would need to get PSN. Either way, I was like, whatever, save the headache. Swallowed a little bit of embarrassment I had in front of my mom, looking like I don't know what games are. But I go back to the shelf, and this other game that really piqued my interest during E3. There was a trailer with a silver-haired guy with two swords who was hunting a griffin. And something about that trailer really hooked me. Pick it out. Witcher 3, sure enough. Bring it to the counter. She's impressed. All of a sudden, that's the game. She's like, "Okay, that's the game." Manager says the same thing. Pay the lady, we're out of there, right? I immediately open it up, and even though it's a pre-owned copy, I'm looking through it. The map is still in there. The stickers are still in there. The thank you letter is still in there. So I'm pretty impressed with the release I have here. Go home after the trip. Start playing it. Big open world. Characters, richly written, music. All of a sudden, there's a whole card game in this game that seems like it's going to be its own game, and it ends up being that. I'm immediately taken back. Now, it's not straight out open world. It's like technically open zone, because it's like chunks of open world, but the zones are so big that they could be their own worlds, right? Travel around White Orchard, meet Yennefer of Vengerberg. All that. Starts the trek to Novigrad. And then for one reason or another, things in my life got hard, got busy. Holidays, the event that I was talking about kind of culminated into something right around October. Life got weird. So I stopped playing the game. I stopped playing the game. I don't remember what else I did at that time. It's kind of a blacked out blur of just school and homework and holiday prep and watch a movie that I still was a movie buff back then too. But right around then, until spring break of 2016. So it was it? Am I not spring break? It was one of the week-long breaks we get in spring. I don't know if it was February break. It might have been February break and not spring break. It was one of the two. I'm like, that Witcher game, I never finished that. Pick it up towards the end of Novigrad. I remember the Dandelion stuff right away. Had the Skellige, do all that. And I'm like, why did I ever drop this game? I'm just so unabashedly hooked by it. And then I started thinking to myself, I was like, back in September when I played this, I remember going to school like the Monday after that little trip with my mom and my dad. My dad was there too. Long story short, he was in like training for his work, and that's why me and my mom were out and about, just kind of killing time till he was done. Monday, I remember telling my friends I started playing The Witcher 3, and that I can already tell it's going to be one of the best games I've ever played. I can already tell. I remember, I don't know what necessarily was about it. I remember walking around a decimated battlefield with 100 swords lying around, and I picked them all up, and I was over encumbered, and then I swam through a pond until I could find a shop to sell them all. And then I sold a bunch of swords and made money, and life was good. And then I started to, pick up quests, and it just started snowballing. And like I said, I stopped, but then I picked it back up, and it was magic. It's like I never left. The game is so well crafted. It's so well designed that even though I didn't play it for months, and like busy months too, right? Life stuff. And even if life stuff weren't really happening in the year of 2015, Christmas is a busy time. The holiday season is a very busy time for a lot of people. Me included, even as a high school student. That game was just sitting patiently waiting for me. I'm sure I got games for Christmas and Black Friday and all that, and I played them and I enjoyed them, but it was waiting there. It was sitting there waiting patiently, and I got back to it. I'm like, this is it. It's like I was waiting for it. It's like I was holding out for something. And all these years later, I look back on it, and I'm trying not to get emotional. I do seriously believe that Witcher 3, in tandem with Game of Thrones, is right around when I discovered that show as well, are the two of the things that helped save me from a very dark time in my life. And as the years have gone, DLC came out, Hearts of Stone came out, Blood and Wine came out, and to this day, I've never played Hearts of Stone. I've always kind of waited on it. I've always knew that I would get around to it eventually, but Blood and Wine I did play. I went to a different GameStop and got the DLC, which came in this slip case, right? So I kind of thought it was its own game by itself, but nope. It just kind of came on this little slip. But what it did have was this box underneath. And this box contains actual Gwent cards. So I do own 2 decks of Gwent that I have played. It has, rules and stuff on it. And this is Witcher 3 Gwent. This isn't the Gwent from the standard solo release that changed the rules a good bit. This is from proper Witcher 3 Gwent, and I've played it. I've made my mom play it. I played it with some of my friends at school, and it's just been a cool little keepsake to have. And I just put it with my board games now. It just sits. It looks a little strange because it has. If I just had it like this, right, it'd be fine. But I still have the slipcase, so it kind of sits over there by itself. Now, one thing I haven't shown off yet is the game itself. And there is a very special reason for that. Something very recently has happened to my copy of Witcher 3. A very good thing. Kind of saying it like that, it sounds like it may be bad. A very good thing has happened. I recently was able to attend PAX East up in Boston, Massachusetts. And the voice actor of Geralt, Doug Cockle, attended. Now, just being my luck, he did a signing on Thursday and Sunday. And I attended the convention on Friday and Saturday. The 2 days he did not have a designated signing. However, he did have a panel, like, first thing Saturday morning. So me and my friends got there, we immediately get in line, and for whatever reason, even though we weren't first in line, we got front row, right in front of the panel with seating to the panel that Doug was a part of. We got to hear him speak like Garrett, we got to hear him answer questions about the industry, and I was also lucky because I was right there. I stood up as patiently as I could, and as non-intrusive as I could, because even still doing this, I did still feel like kind of an a-hole. I'm not going to lie. Because I walked up to him, I asked as politely as I could, "Hello, I'm a huge fan. Would you mind signing something for me?" And I was fully accepting him to say no. I'm not the person that if you said no, I would have flipped out and pitched a fit. Obviously, he doesn't know me. I'm sure he's dealt with people like that before. He and the person sitting next to him were like, "He has a signing tomorrow. Are you able to come tomorrow?" And I'm like, "No, unfortunately not. I'm only here today." And he took a second and he's like, "Okay." And that I started overwhelmingly excitement, started shaking. I prepped. I put it in a little plastic baggie because the weather was really bad, and so I put it in a little plastic bag. So I unwrap it, and I packed a Sharpie for him to sign with. I was prepared. Now I do hope, and if this video ever finds its way to Mr. Cockle, I did not sell it. I am just an overwhelmingly huge fan, and I didn't want to take any more of his time. I didn't want to talk his ear off. I didn't want to explain it all in that moment. I didn't want to explain what the game meant to me. But what he did, like, made the weekend that was already wonderful just that much better, and I'm delaying, but I will show it to you. This is the copy that Story, GameStop, almost bought the Crew, didn't buy the Crew. That horrible time in my life, this shining light, came home with me, played it, fell in love with it, stopped playing it, rediscovered it, fell in love with it more. Almost 10 years later, took it on a plane with me, put it in a little baggie, through the rain, brought a Sharpie, and he signed my copy of The Witcher 3. And if you can't really read it, it does say, "To Dan, Winds Howling, Doug Cockle." I didn't ask him to write the Winds Howling. It's a fan quote. Me and my friends quote it a lot. He did ask me if I wanted it personalized, and I did say yes. I hope that staved off any fear that I was just going to go flip it on eBay or something. But no, this is more a museum piece to me than it is a video game. This is one of my prized possessions. It's a very important game to me, period. And then on top of that, it's personalized, it's one of a kind, it's mine, and I'm also grateful to have it. Now, because I'm getting sniffly, I apologize. Now, if I want to play the game again, I have said, and I've set a goal, that when I achieve a certain goal in my life, I will buy the Witcher 3 PS5 version, and I will play that. Finally allowing myself to see the updated version, allowing myself to see the Netflix stuff that they put in there, and finally play Hearts of Stone. Because, like I said, I've never played that DLC yet. I look forward to the day that day comes. To stave off it going out of print, I may just buy it and then restrict myself from playing it. I've done that before with some games, but that's where my Witcher story rests, right? Witcher 3 story rests, anyway. Obviously, there's books and movies, and there's a couple other games, and there's a fourth game coming out, and I'm almost speechless. I hope each and every one of you that watches this has a love for a game like I do. A story like this, hopefully not as sad at parts, about something you love. Also, I hope every one of you has played The Witcher 3. It's my favorite game. I bought it as a Christmas gift to other people before. I've recommended it to anybody that will listen, anybody that has the means to play it. I've told to play it, and I cannot recommend it enough. So, one last sniffle. Thank you so very much for watching. As always, like this if you like this, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you at some point.